There are moments in royal PR history when the mask slips, when the polished image, the Instagram captions, and the glossy speeches collide with something real, something raw, something that exposes how out of touch the entire performance really is. And this week, that moment arrived for Prince William and his so-called Earthshot Prize. A global ceremony meant to unite people around sustainability has instead divided them. And all it took was a menu. You heard that right, a menu. In Rio de Janeiro, where this year's Earthshot Prize was set to take place, one of Brazil's most respected chefs, Jennings, was invited to cater the royal event. It should have been an honour, a chance to showcase the Amazon, its ingredients, its resilience, its people. But instead of being celebrated for his world-renowned approach to sustainable cooking, Jennings was handed an order, not a request, but an order that the entire menu must be vegan. Now, on the surface, that might sound progressive. But for Jennings, it wasn't about food, it was about identity. He had planned to feature pirarucu, a fish once endangered, now thriving thanks to indigenous-led conservation. A living example of sustainability in action. But when the Earthshot team banned all animal products, Jennings said no. Not because he hates plants, but because erasing his culture in the name of British eco-politics felt, in his words, disrespectful. He compared it perfectly. It's like asking Iron Maiden to play jazz. And that one line, fiery, defiant, unapologetic, spread like wildfire across Brazil. Suddenly, Jennings wasn't just a chef. He was a symbol, a defender of authenticity against imported elitism. In Brazil, people applauded him for standing his ground. But in the UK, the royal spin machine went into overdrive. Earthshot's team rushed to clarify that the vegan menu was meant to align with climate goals. But the backlash had already started. Because what kind of global initiative tries to dictate to another culture what sustainability should look like? What kind of prince, flying in on private jets, decides he gets to define environmental purity for everyone else? The irony was too rich to ignore. Prince William, a man who still hunts for sport, yes, hunts whose photos with rifles and animal carcasses are all over the internet, now wanted to lecture the world on compassion and conservation through a vegan menu. It didn't just look hypocritical. It was textbook royal doublethink. The same royal who preaches restraint while living in palaces powered by taxpayer-funded privilege. The same royal who says we must protect the planet while hopping between luxury estates, all under the brand of environmental leadership. And this menu was meant to symbolize progress. It symbolized something else entirely: control. Jennings wasn't some fringe chef. His work is studied globally. His philosophy is rooted in respect for the rivers, the trees, the balance of the Amazon. His cooking celebrates coexistence. By refusing to participate, he did what few dare to do when faced with royal PR. He said no, and that no echoed louder than any Earthshot speech could. It exposed something uncomfortable, that William's eco-vision isn't built on understanding, it's built on optics. The moment anyone refuses to conform to the image, they're painted as difficult, uncooperative, or anti-progress. It's the same playbook that's been used against Meghan and Harry for years. Remember when Meghan advocated for inclusivity and female empowerment? She was mocked. When Harry spoke about mental health and climate change from personal conviction, he was called a hypocrite. But when William delivers a carefully rehearsed speech on sustainability, standing under mood lighting, surrounded by corporate sponsors, suddenly he's a visionary. That's not leadership, that's branding. Back in Brazil, the story hit like a cultural earthquake. Newspapers called it a slap in the face to Brazilian tradition. Social media rallied behind Jennings. People posted photos of Pirarucu with captions like, "Our sustainability, our way." It wasn't about rejecting veganism. It was about rejecting the arrogance that one narrow British definition of sustainability could erase centuries of Amazonian wisdom. Jennings's version of eco-consciousness isn't about exclusion. It's about balance, a lesson the palace seems utterly incapable of learning. Meanwhile, in the UK press, predictably, the tone was different. Some outlets described Jennings as temperamental. Others framed him as missing the bigger picture. But here's the thing, he was the bigger picture. The Earthshot team's refusal to listen turned a partnership into a power struggle. And once again, the royal machine showed its true colours. Eager to claim moral superiority, yet quick to deflect responsibility when things go wrong. Sound familiar? When there's applause, it's William's achievement. When there's backlash, it's the team's fault. A tale as old as the crown itself. In the end, Jennings walked away gracefully. He wished Earthshot success, even as he stood firm in his beliefs. He said his mission would continue to teach the world that harmony with nature means inclusion, not elimination. And that poise, that quiet dignity, earned him even more admiration. Contrast that with the royal response, silence, spin, and another photo op about building a waste-free world. It's the same hollow messaging that's become William's trademark. Words without weight. The truth is, the Earthshot Prize has always been about optics. From the green carpets to the celebrity guests, from the designer suits to the jet-setting venues, it's an awards show dressed up as activism. But you can't market authenticity. You either live it or you don't. And when the Prince of Wales, a man who still enjoys hunting weekends, tries to lecture indigenous chefs about compassion for animals, it crosses from hypocrisy into parody. What this controversy has exposed is bigger than one menu. It's about the Western obsession with moral branding. It's about royals and billionaires trying to trademark sustainability while ignoring the communities who actually live it. It's about how privilege talks over experience, and how the British establishment still can't see that the world doesn't revolve around its rules. William's Earthshot vision, to repair the planet within a decade, sounds noble. But how can you repair the planet when you don't even respect the people living on it? Jennings' decision forced a reckoning. It showed that real environmentalism isn't about restriction, it's about reciprocity. It's about understanding that sustainability doesn't wear a tuxedo or come with a palace speech. It grows out of the soil, swims in the river, and sings in the voices of people like Solo Jennings. He didn't just decline an invitation. He exposed a contradiction. And the world noticed. Even in British circles, murmurs are growing louder. Observers point out that William's green leadership is increasingly built on spectacle luxury events, celebrity endorsement, and vague promises, all while the monarchy itself remains one of the most resource-heavy institutions in Europe. From the royal fleet of cars and helicopters to the upkeep of massive estates like Sandringham and Balmoral, it's hard to take sermons about sustainability seriously when they come from behind palace gates. And yet, William wants to position himself as the face of the environmental movement. The problem is, faces fade. Integrity doesn't. And this incident, small as it may seem, has chipped away at the facade of royal virtue. The symbolism couldn't be more perfect. a British prince flying across the world to lecture about sustainability, and a Brazilian chef reminding him what it actually means. In one corner, we have performance. In the other, we have principle, and principle won. Prince William's team may try to move past this, to sweep it under the rug as a misunderstanding. But the message is out there now, loud, clear and unfiltered. You can't claim to save the planet while silencing the people who live closest to it. You can't impose ideals on cultures you refuse to understand. And you can't buy authenticity with branding. As Jennings put it best, true sustainability is about harmony, not exclusion. Maybe that's a lesson Prince William should finally take to heart. Because the world is watching, and this time no amount of palace PR can disguise the taste of hypocrisy. At the end of the day, it's not menus or medals that define progress, it's respect. And maybe that's the real difference between borrowed virtue and genuine conviction. Until the royal family learns that, every Earthshot will keep missing its mark.